So quick comment on this video. I made this video from the longer version video that I made, the full length video, and I tried to make the shortest possible video on fitness that I could. So it's real choppy in certain parts. So if you want the full context, go watch the full video. And again, this comes from a bunch of research that I did from different books, different programs that I've tried, and I just came up with the formulas that work the best. And if you had to choose one book to get out of all that, it would be this Bigger, Leaner, Stronger book by Mathews. I'm not paid to endorse this, just letting you know this is a great book, and you could just read this book and probably not really have to watch many of my videos. So I hope you enjoyed this video and it helps you reach your fitness goals. Hey, welcome to Engineer Your Body. In this video, I'm going to talk about the formulas you need to apply to work fitness into your life and get in great shape while not really having to change your lifestyle too much, and you can work it into a lifestyle that you can maintain for the rest of your life and still have fun and do the normal things you're doing right now. If you haven't watched my intro video, go watch that now. It explains why my channel exists. There's a link in the description. And after watching that, you should know if this video is going to be right for you or not. And quick summary, I work for NASA and I'm an engineer, and I'm also a single dad. And I was able to change my body. Here's my before picture. And then here's a couple after pictures.
And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal.
This video is basically the most important things that you need to do that will have you looking better than the average person. So let's start with the most important thing, which is diet. I do flexible dieting, which means I generally eat whatever I want as far as the variety of foods, and I just count my calories and macros. Macros are protein, carbs, and fat. Honestly, I mostly just track protein. So calories and protein is what you should be tracking. Now, the most important thing you're probably going to need to know is 3,500 calories equals a pound of body weight. If I burned 3,500 calories, I would lose a pound. What really matters is the calories in and the calories out. And calories in is the food you're eating, and calories out is the calories you're burning, the energy you're using. Now, everyone has a basic metabolic rate, a BMR, and that's essentially how many calories your body burns just to keep you alive. So you can just Google what your BMR is. There's tons of calculators out there. All right, so let me start with the people that just want to lose weight. They don't care how much of it is muscle or fat. So in this case, you want to just eat at least what your BMR is. And if you can get away with that, that's all you need to eat. Again, you're gonna lose muscle, and I wouldn't recommend this path, but I'm just giving you the information. You would just basically eat at your BMR, and if you're starving, eat more, eat as much as makes you comfortable, but make sure it's less than the calories you're burning. Okay, that's the key. And if you want to determine how much calories you burn, there's two different kind of ways to do it. I use a Fitbit. You use any activity tracker, and it's not going to be perfect for sure. The best way to calibrate it is, wear it over a 2-week span of your normal life. It'll tell you how many calories you're burning each day. And for each day, you need to eat that many calories. So if it said I burned 2,500 calories today, I'm going to eat 2,500 calories. And, tracking your food can be very difficult. It takes time up front, but then once you do it for a couple months, it becomes more natural and easier and less burdensome. I use an app called Lose It, and it's free. If you wanted to track or count macros and sync to your Fitbit and sync to your smart scale like mine does, then you can pay a membership fee. But there's other, MyFitnessPal and other things like that. The way to calibrate is have a tracker, see how many calories you eat and or how many calories you burn, and try to eat that many calories each day and log all your food, okay? So after those 2 weeks, you're gonna weigh yourself, and you need to be weighing yourself consistently. The best time is first thing in the morning before you eat breakfast. That's when you should be weighing yourself. Your 14th day, see how much you weigh, okay? If you are exactly the same, then you've nailed it. You have the right amount of calories burned and you're eating the equal amount. Now, if you gained, let's say you gained 2 pounds, okay? Since 1 pound is 3,500 calories, that means you've ate 7,000 more calories than you burned over that 2-week span. So you can just divide that out, right? It comes out to be 500 calories a day. So you were eating 500 more calories than you should have each day. So now you can just go and track that. You can do the same thing, and each day, whatever you're doing, whatever you're eating, eat 500 less calories. And if you did that every single day for 2 weeks, you would have the same body weight. So that's one way to get started, is just track it. Don't even change what you're eating. Just track what you're eating, track your calories, and then you could just adjust how much you're eating to try and hit the same amount of calories you're burning. That would be my way to start. If you don't want to invest in a fitness tracker, there's other formulas you can look up. You basically take your BMR that we talked about and you multiply it by an activity factor. So if you have like a moderate activity, you multiply it by 1.3. So if your BMR was 2,000, then you're going to be burning 2,600 calories when you include your exercise. And if you notice, moderate exercise only increases your calories like 30%. I mean, the food is way more powerful than the exercise. A side of fries somewhere is like 400 calories. So that's your entire workout that day probably. Just keep that in mind, that it's much more powerful to adjust your diet than to adjust your exercise when you're talking about body weight. So cutting is when you're eating less calories than you're burning. That's what we call cutting. You're gonna wanna be in about a 20% deficit. So if you burned, let's say 3,000 calories that day, 20% of that is 600. So you would only eat 2,400 calories that day. In about 6 days, you're gonna lose a pound. That's supplemented with the weight training I'm gonna talk about. Because if you're not doing the weight training, you're likely gonna lose muscle even on a slow cut, all right? For bulking, you're gonna only wanna have like a 10% surplus, and this is called lean bulking, right? So like same example, you're burning 3,000 calories a day, you're gonna wanna eat 3,300 calories. That'd be a 10% surplus. And of course, maintenance means you're gonna eat the same amount of calories. And I talked about that calibration period. Once you're doing this for several months, you're gonna be pretty good at knowing what your maintenance calories are. All right, so let's talk about macros. I'll just keep it simple. Try and eat 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight every day. If you're a 200-pound male, eat 200 grams of protein each day. So you're gonna be probably over 1,000 calories on just your protein. And so the rest of that is just gonna be carbs and fat. And I like to eat more carbs and fat. That's kind of my guidelines, but I only track, I base my food on my food intake for the day on calories and protein, and that's all I do. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about the most important factor in working out, right? That's progressive overload. What is this? You're progressively adding load to all your workouts. So let me just start with an example, and the reps that I like using, 4 to 6 reps is where I like working out and where I see the most progress. That gives you it's a very good target zone for building muscle, okay? So let's just use that as an example. You do 4 to 6 reps, but between each set, you need to rest 3 minutes. Just make it 3 minutes even. I have a little timer that I put on that's like an interval timer. Where progressive overload comes in is that each week you should be progressing on your reps. So let's just take the bench press for example. Let's say you're benching 225 and your first week you do a set of 4, a set of 4, a set of 4. Okay. Next week you get into the gym. You need to look at that and say, if I don't get 4, 4, 4, I'm not making progress, right? You're gonna lose muscle if you do less weight or less reps, right? So you need to look at your sheet and say, I did 4, 4, 4, and use that as motivation. All right, after I at least get 4, 4, 4 to stay on track, you should easily be able to get like 5, minimum 5, 4, 4. Your second week, you're gonna get like 5, 5, 5 maybe, right? You're gonna get a couple more reps each time. So let's use that as an example. Let's say you get 5, 5, 5. All right, next week I come in, bench press, same weight, 225. Okay, now I got 6 on my first set, okay? Okay, you hit 6, that's the top of the rep range. You normally do 4 to 6 reps. As soon as you hit that 6 rep, you put 5 pounds on each side of the bar. So you put 10 pounds total on. So now you're benching 235. So your next set is gonna be 235 that day. You already did one set of 225 at 6 reps. Now you're gonna do 235, and you're most likely gonna get 4. If you get 3, that's close enough. You know, if you got 2, I would go back and drop the weights and wait until you get another set of 6. If you can get 2 sets of 6 at 225, then you can go up to 235. But most likely, if you hit 6, you'll be able to put on, 5 pounds on each side of the bar, 10 total, and you're gonna get 4 and then maybe 4 again. So now the next week you're starting at 235, and now maybe you're getting, 5, 4, 4, then 5, 5, 4, and then 5, 5, 5. Then you might get a 5, 6. You go, I hit 6 on my second set, and now you're going up 5 more pounds on each side. Now you're benching 245, okay? And you just keep doing that. And if one day you get, let's say, you get like 5, 5, 6 on your third set, then the next week you're coming in the gym, your weights are going up. So if you get 6 reps on your very last set of the day for that exercise, let's say we're benching 245 now and you hit 6. All right, when you come into the gym the next week, it's 255. Make sure you mark it down for the next week that you're gonna be doing 255. So now you're doing 255 that next week. And that's called progressive overload. That's actually called double progression. You progress on the amount of reps you're doing, and then at some point you hit the high end of your rep range and you progress on the amount of weight. And then your reps will drop, and then you build up your reps, and then you build up your weight. And that's the most fundamental thing you can do for weight training. I don't care what exercises you're doing. I don't care what rep ranges you're doing. I mentioned which ones are ideal. But if you're following that principle, that's what's gonna build muscle, making progress. And so you need to track it. I could tell you exactly how much weight and how many reps I bench pressed 3 years ago to the day, because I have a spreadsheet that tells me it. With that in mind, you don't want to be doing these sets to muscle failure, okay? So you don't want to be benching to the point where the bar comes back down on you. You want to stop when you can do at least one more rep. At first, you might need to be 2 reps until you know what your limits are. Okay, going to muscle failure doesn't help build any muscle. It fatigues you more, it's harder to recover from, it's gonna slow down your progress, it's dangerous, you might get hurt. There's not enough benefit to do that, okay? So for the most part, if you're not progressing, it's because you're not eating enough calories or enough protein. You might be eating a lot of calories, but not enough protein, and the protein is what's gonna rebuild your muscle after the workout. Next thing is you may not be sleeping enough. That's one of the most underrated aspects of life is sleeping, and especially when you get older, it's like the most anabolic thing you can do is sleep. That's when your body's actually burning fat cells and building muscle, okay? It's repairing your muscles that we just talked about that you're damaging when you work out. If you're not sleeping enough, your body is not repairing your muscles and you're not gonna be progressing. And it could be also stress, like mental stress actually affects your performance in the gym. It's important that you stick to the same exercises for a period of time so that you can track and progress. Okay, I promise your body is gonna progress as long as you're increasing your reps and your weight. Okay, you wanna do the same thing, the same exercise over and over, but with more reps and more weight. And that's what makes your body build muscle. So you're stressing your body's adapting, you're recovering, and then you stress it a little bit more the next time. And that's how you slowly build muscle. Warm-ups, just basically take half the weight you're gonna do, 2 sets of 8, and then you can get closer to like 75% of the weight you're about to lift, and just do whatever the set's gonna be. Then wait 3 minutes, and then I'll do my first, it's called a working set or a hard set, my first set of 4 to 6. You don't count the warm-up sets. Okay, so as far as how many sets to do, 12 to 18 sets is kind of the happy range. When you're setting up your program, target 12 to 18 sets per muscle per week. All right, so let's talk about the exercises that I like to do, which I think are most effective. It's heavy barbell training, right? That's pretty much what I've been doing for a couple years now. Barbell is sort of the best tool. You can do lots of different motions with it, and like I said before, talking about the deadlift, it targets a lot of different muscle groups at once by doing full body exercises. So the best barbell exercises, there's kind of four main ones: the barbell bench press, the barbell deadlift, the barbell overhead press, like a standing military press, you can think of it, and the back squat. I also don't want you to worry if you don't have access to barbells. Okay, I want you to focus on the fundamentals of the flexible dieting we talked about and the progressive overload. Okay, so if you have to do all of that in a gym, in a hotel gym, you should be doing that. Okay, I recommend the barbell, but you don't need one. Okay, you might get there more efficiently or quicker. There may be some limitations you have. If you just want to go in, do the machines, then it's fine, do the machines. But you have to do the double progression. So if it's the machines where you stack plates on it, you gotta write down your weights, right? And you have to progress. You have to be putting 5 pounds on each side. You know, every couple of weeks you should be progressing in weight, and definitely reps each time. You know, each of the machines, some of the plates are different. So just track the number. You know, if you're on plate 3 and you know you're doing 5, 5, 5 on plate 3, then you get 6, go up to plate 4. So now you're doing plate 4 and you're doing 4 reps, right? So don't sweat it if you can't get your hands on a barbell. Use the equipment you have and just use the double progression method, and you will see progress. Okay. All right. As far as more specific programming, I can give you like a 3-day example and a 5-day example. If you're doing a 3-day, I would do a pull, push, legs workout, where for pulling, I would do back exercises. For me, it's deadlifting. But again, I'm trying to keep it generic in case you don't have the barbell. So I would actually recommend for a 3-day, 3 to 4 exercises for your back and 2 to 3 on your biceps that day. But pick the exercises, and those are the same exact exercises you're doing for, at least a couple months, all right? And make progress in the gym on those exercises. You don't do like, if they have a curl machine and they have like a hammer curl machine, if you haven't done the hammer curl in weeks, don't go, I'm just gonna jump to that one, okay? I would try and get the same exact exercises done so you can make sure you're actually progressing. So you're gonna do pull and then you're gonna do push. So then your push exercise are gonna be mainly chest, shoulders, and triceps. Now when you do your chest, you're gonna get a lot of tricep work in. So you don't need to do a ton of special, just tricep exercises. So I recommend 2 to 3 sets of your chest, and probably 2 to 3 sets of shoulders, and then maybe 1 or 2 of your triceps. So that's gonna be your push, and then you're gonna do legs. That one is trying to get 2 or 3 quad exercises, 2 or 3 hamstring exercises, and a calf exercise in there. And so you can do this 3-day in 3 days straight, and then have 4 days off, and then do 3 days straight and 4 days off, if that works for you. Let's say you can do a Friday, Saturday, Sunday workout, and then during the work week you can't. That'd be a good way to do it. Or you could do like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Usually the 3-day is because you can only work out 3 days within 7 days. If you're able to work out more than 3 days within a 7-day span, then I would recommend a 4 or 5-day workout. Okay, and then just a couple comments on like abs and calves, and even forearms. They're such small muscle groups that you can work them out multiple times a week if you want. So like calves, you could throw into other workouts. If you really want to work on your calves, do it on your pull day and on your leg day. However, also know that you don't need to do any abs if you're just trying to get like a 6-pack for aesthetics. That's just body fat, okay? That's important to note. Like, yeah, you can build strength in your core and your abs, and they'll stick through a little bit sooner if you have more muscle there. But you can't just make abs show up through fat by doing a lot of ab exercises, okay? If you're doing abs just for the aesthetics, I wouldn't waste time on that. I would focus on the food and cutting down. If you're doing abs because your core is weak, because you just started out, and you want to do deadlifting and your back's rounding because your core is not strong enough, for sure, that's the advantage. That's a benefit to doing core work and ab work. It will, if you do it up front when you first start working out, It will actually help you progress a little bit fast, but just know that abs is mostly diet. If you're doing any kind of smart workouts, you know, any kind of free weight workout for sure, you have abs, okay? And it's just, do you want to diet down so you can see them, or do you rather just be stronger and have a little bit more of body fat, right? So now the 5-day workout routine. Day 1, I do a couple of chest exercises and tricep exercises, and then day 2, it's a pull day, so it's a couple back exercises and a couple bicep exercises. Day 3 is another push day, so it's shoulders and a couple of shoulders, a couple of triceps. Thursday's leg day. It's very similar to the 3-day leg day. And day 5 is another chest and tricep day, similar to day 1. And that's an example of a workout. But again, the routine's not as important. The programming is not as important as the fundamentals that I've talked about with the double progression and eating, right? So eating the right amount of calories and protein, progressing on whatever workouts you're doing and whatever rep range you're doing, and however often you're doing them, double progression, okay? Progressive overload. That's the key. That's the main thing, okay? So make sure you're doing that. Okay, you may have noticed that I didn't mention cardio yet. I'm mostly focused on muscle building, okay? And I don't do a lot of cardio. The cardio that I do is walking. When I'm bulking, I usually don't do any cardio. I will say running, if you care about muscle, running is very catabolic. You know, it destroys tissue instead of like building it, right? So it has other health benefits. Just me personally, it's not that important to me to do cardio, I guess is how I'll put it. When I'm doing deadlift, my heart rate is up. It's in the 130s, 140s. And so like I'm definitely getting cardio doing the workouts, okay? Again, like I mentioned before, you don't burn as many calories as you think with cardio. And so if you're just doing it because you think I can eat more if I do that, it's not really the right approach. So, it's totally up to you. If you want to do cardio because it's fun, but I wouldn't do it because you're thinking you get to eat more or anything like that. And if you're gonna do it, don't do it before you work out. You could do it right after you work out, but I would preferably just do it at a different time. So, if you're working out at night, you can do cardio in the morning, or if you're working out in the morning, you can do cardio at night. Or do it on your 2 days off. So if you're weightlifting the 5 days or the 3 days, whatever days you're not weightlifting, do your cardio then. If you have to do it all in one window because you're at the gym, do it at the end of your weight training, okay? Because you don't want to impact your weight training. So at the end of the weight training, do whatever cardio you want to do. Okay, I'm gonna talk about deloading. Deloading is, stepping back a little bit every so often, right? And so research shows, and my experience and from my research, every 8 to 10 weeks, is a good time to do a deload. And you can do this one of 3 ways, really. One way is just to take the whole week off. You take a week off, sometimes you come back stronger because your body's just rested. Trust me, it'll feel really good when you come back. Now, if you don't want to take the whole week off, the other way to deload, which I'll recommend, is just do half of everything. So half the amount of sets, basically, half the amount of reps and half the amount of weight. So that's a volume and intensity deload, and that's what I would recommend if you're gonna wait 8 to 10 weeks. So you need to just program those deloads in, okay? And now if we just get to the summary, it's called Engineer Your Body because I'm a NASA engineer, and like I said, I'm using formulas to try and help you follow and simplify all this complicated content that I've talked about. The things you really need to know after all this: 3,500 calories is 1 pound of body weight, okay? If you want to lose weight, you need to burn about 1.2 times the amount of calories that you've eaten, okay? And when you're bulking, you're gonna be eating 10% more calories than you burn. So in this case, take your calories burned, multiply it by 1.1, and that's the calories that you should be eating, okay? Your minimum daily protein is 1 gram times your body weight. Okay, so the most important workout formula. 1 set of X reps equals you adding 5 or 10 pounds to the exercise. Now, the X in this case is the higher end of the rep range. So if it's 4 to 6, then X equals 6. If it's 6 to 8, then X equals 8. If it's 8 to 10, X equals 10, okay? So when you hit that upper limit of the range you're working in, that's when you add weight to your exercise. That's progressive overload, that's double progression. All right, between 12 and 18, that's the number of sets you should be doing per muscle group per week. And your sleep should be greater than or equal to 8 hours. You really need to focus on the sleep. So, that's my formulas. So, that's how you can engineer your body to look how you want it to look. Please leave comments on what other content you might want to see. If you have questions, you can put them in the comments, or you can email me. I'll put them in the email in the description. It's engineeryourbody6@gmail.com. If I get 100 subscribers, I think that would be enough that it's worth putting another video out, okay? So please subscribe if you would like more content. I'll go deeper into each of these topics and some things I haven't even talked about yet. So subscribe if you would like me to put out more videos, and please comment on what kind of videos you'd like to see. And maybe I'll talk to you guys again soon. Thanks.